Welcome to My Off-Grid Adventures. I'm Frank, and if you're a regular to this channel, you know that I start every video by saying it's another beautiful day in Michigan. But I am tempted to skip that today because it's -2 or 3 out with wind chill making it even colder. And yesterday and the day before were a couple of the worst days that I've ever had on my 40-acre off-grid Michigan property. And that's what this video is about today, to share with you some of the challenges that we face in an off-grid environment. On Thursday night in the dark, I was coming back to the off-grid property and I got stuck near the entrance. As I drove to the land, I intended to park at the gate that I had made a couple of months ago and just walk from there. That was my intention all along. And that is what I should have done because I believe I theoretically could have gotten out if I had just parked there. But I looked over the field and my stupid brain thought, that's a field, there's wind out there, surely the wind has blown the snow and it's not all that deep. And then I remembered thinking I've seen deer cross even in the recent hours in that area, and if they can get through it, I might be able to plow through. And I really have never gotten my pilot stuck before, so I thought I could do it. And I proceeded, but I should have stopped there. Instead, I ended up going in about 25 yards, and I have no idea how I got that far because I didn't have any momentum. I stopped to unlock the gate and just started to pull forward. Somehow I got 25 yards ahead before it was just not going to move. But I should have stopped here at this lovely gate that I made, and I would have avoided a lot of trouble. Getting stuck isn't the worst thing in the world, but this time I had my truck filled with things that had to go to my RV, and my RV was about 300 yards from where my truck was stuck. I had to carry with me a 5-gallon can of gas, all of my laptop and office equipment. I ended up having 4 bags, very heavy bags. I believe if I weighed them all, it would probably be over 100 pounds in bags that I had to carry, with big, heavy boots through 20 inches of snow in the dark with blowing winds. And it was it was the most difficult walk that I've ever had to take. I ended up having to take that trip 4 round trips. That means 8 times I had to walk that 200 yards. That's about a mile. It's 0.9 of a mile. So it was really taxing on me. I had to stop every few steps and just bend over and rest on my knees and catch my breath. I can see why people have heart attacks dealing with snow, and I was in rough shape. Also, when I got back into the RV, because I had been gone a little while, all of the water, all of the drinks, everything that I had in the RV was frozen solid. So the pop cans that I had in there had exploded. So it was just a miserable time. And then I tried over and over to get my truck. I call my pilot a truck because I use it like one, like a work truck, but I tried to get it out with putting some pieces of firewood underneath each wheel, digging out under them, but the problem was the entire truck was resting on thick snow and it just wasn't going to budge. So I ended up having to call a tow truck from out of town and I had to wait for them to come. Thankfully, the tow truck had a really long cable. I was about 25 yards in off the road, and the tow truck was able to take that long cable, hook it up to the back of the truck, and pull inch by inch. It took forever. And I never would have gotten out, not till spring or the snow melted. When I finally got out, I drove away to just get away for a while, and I've never been happy to leave the land. I always love it there. But this time, I couldn't get away fast enough. I was just miserable. So I'll be going back soon, but right now it is, we need a little space, Every relationship needs, sometimes you need a little space. So that, and I'm going to be buying a tractor, so this never happens again. I needed a tractor anyway. Wanted a tractor is probably more appropriate, but I was in the market for one, and this just proves it is something I'm going to use all year. I want to just give this huge shout out to Good Works Tractors, which is based in Michigan as well. They're out of Kalamazoo, and I just stumbled across Courtney's videos that he has. Just so helpful. I was going to make a wrong decision on a tractor, and I'm so glad that he steered me away from things like the backhoe and just helped me understand what features I do need, which accessories I need, which ones I don't, how to be safe on the tractor. I encourage you to check out his channel. Just super friendly, great guy, and very generous with his content. So I'm so thankful for that. And I hope to buy a tractor maybe even today. So that'll be something I'll be walking you through in the future. It just dawned on me this morning when I was talking to my wife how much better my situation could have been if I would have thought more clearly. So I have 3 sets of snowshoes, and it never crossed my mind to use them. I know that it would have been easier to make that trek if I had those snowshoes on. Just can't understand why I didn't put 2 and 2 together and put those on. The other is that I have a sled that we use for pulling behind the 4-wheeler. And it would have been so much smarter to put that 25-foot rope on that sled, put all my heavy 100-pound bags and the gas can in that, and then just kind of tug it every 25 yards to catch up with me. I didn't have to carry that weight on my neck. I have a really bad back and neck from a car accident injury and surgery over 10 years ago. And I should have been smart, but having trouble with my knees, I know I can't lift heavy weight. All I had to do was put on the snowshoes, throw everything in that sled, and I would have been fine, or at least a lot less strained than I was. So just, I don't know what the lesson is there. Like when you're frantic and things are, you're not breathing well, it's perhaps less oxygen going to the brain or something. But I wish I could have gotten my head together and thought about a plan of attack to get through this. Thankfully, I didn't panic or anything. I knew somehow things would work out and I'd end up getting out of there. But just some really dumb things that I did. I asked my wife this morning if she felt my pain for all of the things that happened as far as not having water. And oh, I would have given anything to have water and not having food. I just had a few items left in the RV to eat, just a few breakfast sandwiches that were frozen. I didn't have food, didn't have water. I mean, I guess I could have boiled the snow or something, but I'm not even sure how that works. So I got myself in this really dangerous situation, really taxed my body and my heart. And I'm very grateful, thankful to God for protecting me, keeping anything from happening. But just, I've got to be smarter. I've got to think through things ahead of time and just weigh the dangers and take fewer risks. Every step was just miserable in that snow with these heavy boots and all the clothes on and all of the hats and everything I had to wear. It's just so hard to get around. I think it's far worse than walking through a sandy beach, and that's challenging. But this is one of the most taxing things that I've had to do to my body. I'm really disappointed in myself for how unprepared I was for this entire experience. I didn't have a shovel with me in the SUV. I didn't have water that I could drink in the RV. I had very little food that I could eat, certainly not more than just one meal's worth in the RV. And it scares me to think that things could have gone much worse than they did. So I'm thankful to God. I prayed a lot yesterday for him to protect me and get me through this, and he did. So I really do recognize that he takes care of us in ways we often don't even understand, if it's just keeping our heart pumping nice and strong, or allowing the tow truck driver to have a free schedule to come out and help. And even giving us people in our lives that love us. My parents aren't far from the land, and my dad offered to bring me a Whopper or something from Burger King if I needed it, so I was grateful for that. But just thankful to God that nothing really bad happened, and I got through it, and I learned some things. It's such a blessing to have neighbors that you get along with, and I had a couple that I was able to call and ask for help, though they couldn't because this was too big of a job. I needed the tow truck, but just grateful for people that care and are willing to help out. So although I have a lot of regrets and I'm disappointed with myself in this experience, I also have a lot of thankfulness and gratitude for God's protection, for good people, for family and friends and neighbors, and for good tow truck drivers who know what they're doing and can help you get out of bad situations. I think it's important to focus on things with gratitude, because things could always be worse than they are, and that's usually not because of ourselves, but because of God and others that he uses to help us get through life together. So I do feel a lot of gratitude. I am looking forward to the next time I get to head back to the off-grid property. And I hope that might be the message of encouragement. The silver lining to take from this is gratitude and thankfulness for God's goodness and the goodness of others. If you enjoyed this video, would you please give it a thumbs up? That really does help my channel a lot. And subscribe for more content on off-grid living or product reviews or how-to videos, or if you just want to see which tractor I buy and how I learn to use it and what things I do with it and how I use it wrong. Please subscribe and just come along with me. I'd appreciate it, and I enjoy your company. Thank you for watching.